Hey, g'day guys. Thought today it's the shortest day of the year. Well, actually, yesterday was the shortest day, but I missed it. So what I'm going to do today is put a bit of a stick in the ground, just make one of those sundials, record the amount of movement. So what happens is the Earth axis is on 23.5 degrees, and as we rotate around the sun, the angle of the sun hitting the Earth's surface changes. So it's pretty fascinating stuff. And a guy called, oh gee, what was his name? Solstice. He in about 300 BC, he come up with a way to measure that, just by putting a stick in the ground and measuring the angle between two surfaces on the Earth. And from there they could calculate the surface of the Earth. So amazing stuff. We'll put this one up today, and I went scuba diving on the weekend, and the weather wasn't real good. Visibility is pretty poor, but I'll put some of that stuff up. But really the next project's going to be, bought this old little boat, and we'll clean it up, get it out on the water, have a bit of fun. So we'll put this in the ground. Try to get it as parallel as possible. Parallel, vertical. Look at that, that bit doesn't even stay in there. What would you call it? They never had much the way of trigonometry and calculus and things like that back, in the 300 BC. On a latitude called 23.5, which is the Tropic of Capricorn. So that's the southernmost point where the sun moves to. And he was on the Tropic of Cancer, or Egypt, where he was, he was 700 kilometers from the Tropic of Cancer. And so he measured the two distances, or measured that distance, and then measured the angle of the sun at both those points, and could calculate then that radius, because that radius of 7 degrees, or 7 point something at the time, was the distance of 700 kilometers. So 360 degrees, he could work out 1 kilometer and then multiply it by 360, and that's how he worked out the actual circumference of the Earth. You wouldn't believe it, back then the Egyptians, they had a calculation, I suppose it was from the Romans and that sort of stuff, called stadia. Like say, you'd have to count things in distances of stadium, but I imagine that was like a running track size, or the length of a stadium, or the number of people lying down on the ground. I don't know. A couple of my mates that are surveyors, they measure things in chains, and you might know that one chain is 22 meters, the length of a cricket pitch. So God, there's been some bloody crazy measurements, eh? One good thing that come out of the French, eh? The bloody decimal system. Kilometers, meters, kilograms. Shit, it's a fantastic system. Everyone should use it. But we've had the sun go around, and you can see here the curvature of the sun. So this is our dial. You can see here the line coming down, and here's the line, first screwdriver, 9 o'clock. Oh, bit of dog shit. Anyway, got everything in this one. The line coming around, second screwdriver, 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock red screwdriver, midday. So this guy, Eratosthenes, so 300 BC, this day on the northern hemisphere, he put a stick in the ground, and the sun at one spot was directly over it, and that was the Tropic of Cancer. Then another spot, he had a stick in the ground and he measured the angle 7.5 degrees, and from that he knew the distance between those 2 points and could calculate the radius. For me, it's just fascinating. This day is very important. In fact, I reckon the years should begin and end on these days. That's when the sun goes from the Tropic of Cancer in the north, starts its journey down to the Tropic of Tropic of Capricorn. Now, Tropic of Cancer, gee, that's a bloody weird name to call a line, isn't it? Capricorn makes a bit more sense, but I suppose they're stars or some celestial type of configuration. Cancer, Capricorn. Could have been called Libra or Aries or something like that, but that's what they are. And very important time of the year this. Let's not get confused, the sun doesn't move, does it? Like, I mean, we're not all Christians and want to burn people at the stake because they believe that the earth goes around the sun. But sometimes, if you really want to think about this, you can believe that the earth is the center of the universe. Now, if you're a Christian years ago and you didn't believe that, then you'd get killed, wouldn't you? But and if you think of it that and think of it the sun moving, which it doesn't, think of the sun moving, then you can sort of get a bit of an idea. But as you know, the earth goes around the sun with its tilt of 23.5 degrees, which gives us the relative movement. Anyway, that's what it's all about. Fascinating stuff. I love it. You may not love this sort of stuff, but those people that, you know, sort of similar to me, they like mathematics and geometry and history of the world and things that are real. Some people don't even know the radius of the earth. Some people don't even know the circumference. Some people don't even know how much there is in the atmosphere. They don't even know the makeup of the chemicals in our atmosphere, like oxygen and nitrogen and helium and things like this. But shortest day of the year in the southern hemisphere, longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. See you guys. Just remember that guy. What was his name? Eratosthenes. Era or air, toss, and there. Bloody smart guy, eh? Shit, who would have thought?